Ladies and gentlemen, we have another one, a true crazy situation. So this is a small town in South Carolina where every single cop quits at the same time. Then 5 days later, the mayor ends up dead in a high-speed police chase. And to make it even more suspicious, he was under investigation before he died.
The automobile was driven by a gentleman named George Garner from McCall, South Carolina. I understand he's the mayor of McCall.
That person was driving a Chevy Tahoe on Castro Ferry Road in Darlington County when deputies said the Tahoe veered out of the lane and slammed head-on into a tractor trailer. The driver of the Tahoe died.
This is either the worst case of small-town incompetence or the setup for a Netflix documentary that we'll all binge in one night. Let's get into it. So we're talking about McCall, South Carolina. Now, McCall is a small town. We're talking about 2,000 people. The kind of place where the biggest crime is probably someone stealing their neighbor's Amazon package. But even a small town needs police. And for a while, they had a 5-person department keeping things in order until they all quit around the same time. The question is, why did they quit?
And one former McCall town councilman and the former police chief are speaking out after the entire police department resigned just weeks ago.
They want to set the record straight after a council member told News 13 he was shocked to hear about the departure. But they say that same councilman is the reason behind it.
He went too far. He pushed it too far. He made it unbearable.
It all started back in October 2024 where the police chief Bob Hale quit. A couple more officers followed. And then on November 14, 2024, the last 4 walked out. That's 0 cops. None. Zilch. So what was the problem? According to Chief Hale, the police force was dealing with harassment from a councilman by the name of Harry Benjamin. It was so bad that it created a toxic work environment. He said that the police department was underfunded and poorly micromanaged. Mayor George Buddy Garner said that it was just quote unquote small town politics and it was nothing serious. But on this channel, we all know about small town politics and how crazy it can be. Small towns, they're basically like reality TV show without the cameras. There's drama, backstabbing, and power struggles over things as small as the stop sign placement. The only difference here in McCall, the small town chaos was just led into a full-blown government meltdown. And clearly, it was enough to make every single cop quit. Oh, I forgot to tell you, this is not just some one small thing. McCall had 6 police chiefs in the last 4 years. That's not bad luck. That seems like a dumpster fire with a city council. Again, 6 police chiefs in 4 years. McCall's law enforcement problems didn't start overnight. This town has a long history of police instability, and every time a new chief steps in, they either quit, get forced out, or couldn't deal with the nonsense happening behind the scenes. Some left citing political interference. Others walked away because the town wasn't simply paying enough to deal with the drama. One former police chief called McCall's leadership a complete circus, claiming town officials constantly meddled in law enforcement decisions. Another chief reportedly left mid-shift and never came back. Even before the latest walkout, McCall had already built a reputation as a place where police careers go to die. And it's not just leadership. Officers themselves have been jumping ship for years. Low morale, constant staffing shortages, and a clear lack of support from the town council. It meant that cops were burning out pretty fast. Several officers left for better paying jobs in nearby departments, while others simply gave up on law enforcement altogether. At this point, you gotta ask, if 6 police chiefs in a row couldn't handle McCall, is the problem really the chiefs, or is it the people that are in charge? Then things get really, really weird. 5 days after losing its entire police force, Mayor Garner was dead. On November 26, 2024, the mayor was driving his Chevy Tahoe when a Marlboro County Sheriff's deputy started chasing him. Now, if you hear a mayor is getting chased by the police, you assume it's because he did something illegal. Nope. Police said he wasn't breaking any laws and that the chase was for his own safety.
It's very sad today in McCall, but we will continue fighting for the people in this community, and we want to let you know that, again, I ask you to please keep our community and the mayor family in our prayers.
It has an open investigation that involves the late mayor, but the agency would not release any other information.
The crash that took Garner's life played out yesterday along Castro Ferry Road. The Darlington County coroner tells us his car collided head-on with a tractor trailer.
It was just a large crunch.
Dave Price and his wife live right next to the scene and saw the aftermath.
You could tell that the person wasn't survived, you know. We didn't know anything at that time, but it didn't look good.
The coroner also confirms a Marlboro County Sheriff's deputy was following Garner at the time of the crash for his own safety. We reached out to Sheriff Charles Lemon as to why Garner needed protection, but he referred us back to the coroner.
Okay, because nothing says we're here to help like a high-speed pursuit. And here's where things get really sketchy. Why did they think that he was in danger? Did he call someone? Was there a report? Was he acting erratic? No real details have been given, just a vague quote-unquote for his own being excuse. That sounds more like a cover story than a real reason to chase someone down at high speeds. Also, if the chase was about keeping him safe, why escalate it into a dangerous situation? They just chased him until his car swerved into oncoming traffic. But now we have more questions than answers. Did he lose control? Did he purposely steer into the truck? But here's something to think about. Was he being chased for something more than just a wellness check? Because right now, this looks like a situation that wasn't supposed to end with him walking away. Councilman Harry Benjamin had his say as well. After being accused of harassing the police force into quitting, he has come out swinging, denying everything. Benjamin called accusations completely false, claiming that he was simply trying to get hold of the police department accountable for their performance.
Benjamin tells me he was appointed last year to help oversee the police department.
You know, I'm a numbers guy.
He shared with me a diagram that he drew showing issues with the department since he took office last November. It shows the police force's budget of about $423,000 a year with $25,000 allotted for overtime pay.
I know they're going to need some overtime. I'm not saying they don't need overtime. This is numbers that were brought to my attention that I pulled from the clerk. All right, these are facts. And he would have put this person at $63,000, a little over $63,000. So with all this said and done, everybody was making more than the chief. Salary at $55,000.
Benjamin also pointed out that McCall had been dealing with budgetary issues and that there were tough but necessary conversations about how the town's resources were allocated. He accused the former police leadership of exaggerating the situation to cover for deeper problems within the department.
The councilman says in April, he discovered a microphone hidden in the courtroom where council sometimes holds executive session. He's not saying who put it there, but he says the police department knew about it. Benjamin tells me the town's attorney told them to remove the mic, and they did. He says community members often asked why officers weren't patrolling as they should.
There are some residents that have sided with Benjamin, saying the police force had its own issues and wasn't exactly effective. Others aren't buying it, arguing that if every cop quits at once, it's probably a good reason. Former police chief Hale did clap back against these allegations. Hale blasted Benjamin for airing out his accusations on the day of Mayor Garner's funeral, calling it beyond disrespectful. Just days earlier, Benjamin had no idea why the officers left, but now suddenly he has a laundry list of misconduct claims. Benjamin accused the department of racking up overtime, but Hale fired back. He says the 2024 budget was slashed by $58,000, forcing officers to cover the same responsibilities with fewer resources. Overtime was necessary, and all the spending stayed within the town's budget. Hale himself said he never took a dime of overtime. Hale says if you want proof to file a FOIA request, and usually guilty people don't offer that option. McCall had 24/7 patrols under Hale's leadership, something that is unheard of in years. GPS and vehicle logs prove that the officers were active, even if they spend time in the office for paperwork, case prep, and training. Hale also dismisses Benjamin's Watergate-style eavesdropping claims. He explains that the entire surveillance system was broken before he arrived, new cameras were installed for security purposes, and the microphone Benjamin found was part of an old system and never used for spying. Hale believes that Benjamin's goal was not for justice, but for control. Benjamin ignored policies Hale put in place. He tried to fire officers without cause, and Hale believes that Benjamin pushed a lot of these removals over personal grievances. So it really is up to the residents. Who do you believe? Right now, the investigations are still ongoing. The coroner hasn't even ruled out whether it was an accident or a suicide. And McCall still doesn't have a police force. So yes, an extreme total disaster. We'll be following this story to see exactly what happens in the investigation. But what do you guys think about this story? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for taking time to watch this video. And I'll see you guys in the next video.